What's up guys, Ryan from Antshq. In today's video we've got the Harpegnathos Venator. Super excited to get this content out. Now, slightly dark note, I did actually lose a queen. It was due to me. I moved them too quick from the cup they arrived in into a setup, then into this setup. The setup is perfect for them, the temperatures, everything, but I moved them in quick succession and then I ended up stressing out the colony, and it was just an expensive mistake to make, and I really wish I had took my time a little bit more with it. But I am seeing workers on the surface, so I can only go by that. You know, one of the queens is okay, but I am seeing workers hunt actively, take things down, so I can only, I guess, go by that, and I'm happy with that regardless. But as always from me, peace and love, I'm out. First thing I have to do is apologise for my nasally voice. I have had a cold, flu recently, and I'm still not 100% sort of recovered from that. But just like I did on my River Creek video, I will pin it at the top so you can see that build in particular, but I just use the cutting boards that I use for those to get the base at the back where the filters go in, to basically have a little kind of two mini little drip walls going down the sides. That was what was in my vision anyway. The next thing was just putting in the sponge, making sure that obviously the soil couldn't seep through into the pump area, obviously ultimately blocking the pump and you know, this whole thing being useless. I did decide after I'd done that I wanted a little bit more height from the front with the sponge, so I did add a little bit more, which you'll see in a moment. But just like anything, I added the drainage layer. I soaked it beforehand so you didn't get all the fine debris inside the tank. And basically then I added the drainage layer and or mesh membrane. I put a little bit of pebbles on the top of it just to hold it in for now, especially while I'm adding in the rocks. I did use Oko stone, and this is the little pump that I used at the back. I basically just got the wire, cut it there, used a T-bar. The T-bar essentially came all the way around, pumping the water obviously from left to right, which you'll see in a moment. There we go. So that was the main base. At this stage, it was just silicon in the cork pieces to the sides. I wanted to create like a big depth at the back of the tank. So basically, the back right and the left, there is loads of soil and cocoa fibre I can add to there so they can use them as nests. But basically, I just filled it all in. And later, a bit further down the line, I did some trimming on the cork because some was slightly overhanging when it was dripping, meaning it was dripping straight into that sort of I don't know if you have an Exoterra, but based on Exoterras, you have like a little vent at the front. It was dripping into there, so I had to shorten it just slightly so it wasn't dripping into there. This is them, or the temporary home. They did arrive in a cup, which forced me to move them into something, but you can see how much cocoa fibre they've actually shifted in that time. I think this is only over 2 days. It's completely buried the liquid feeder, but you can see them here just putting things in and out. It's pretty cool. But they are a beautiful species, very alert, very aware of everything that's going on, and I really like that about them. You know, visually they see everything compared to any other ant, so even as you're looking in, moving around, everything, you physically see them looking at you. It's absolutely crazy. It blew my mind a little bit, to be honest, but at this stage it was just adding in soil, sphagnum moss, bits here and there, just getting it ready and prepped for when I'm adding in the fibres and the soil mix. I just used a funnel to get it down the back here. Obviously I added quite a lot in there. Later on I packed it down, and then I went back and did the exact same thing all the way around the cell. Now it's time to just add the moss. A little bit more sand at the front there. But you can see that little drip I was going for. I wanted it like this. That's the cork piece I actually trimmed at the very front. That's what was dripping. But this is all I wanted, enough to keep the moss wet, enough to keep it hydrated. And this way I will see, you know, nice growth from that moss. I did the same on the left side, so there's a slight drip. but this one on the left, I tried to have it a little bit faster, just to create like a little pool going down this cork piece. I thought it would look really nice. But this was another little piece of bark I found outside with some moss attached, so it's already prepped, ready. I just have to have it in the right location in order for the water to wick through onto that cork piece and ultimately make that moss survive. But you can see how it is. It's coming together, the little pool of water at the front there. Now I do wish that I sort of added in maybe a couple of rocks in there as well. I did end up doing that, but ultimately for me I should have done something different. I don't know, I wasn't 100% happy with it. The little pool of water, it ended up being more like a little tiny puddle at the end, which is absolutely fine because obviously we don't want them to drown. We just want them to have a little drinking source or drink supply where they can always go down, drink some water, and I don't have to have a feeder in there, ultimately ruining the aesthetics. I do end up putting these sugar snaps in though, in a feeder, so ultimately it didn't really work out well. Now where I went wrong with this, you can see that pothos I put in, that golden pothos. I shouldn't have done that. Basically what I did is I put that in because I stuffed it towards the back where the filter is, just in case they fell in. I also put floating plants in there. And what happened was a couple of them actually fell down and ended up drowning. Now I don't know why, but afterwards or the day after, I ended up putting some sponge in there, which I should have done that from, you know, the offset. I don't know why I didn't think of it. You know, just putting some sponge in and stuffing it in means if they fall down, they'll land on the sponge and just climb out. I know, right? Easy. But I didn't think of it like that at the time. I don't know why, so I did make some mistakes, that being the first one. The second mistake I made is I moved them too quick. Obviously you saw them nested inside that one, building like intricate tunnels inside that little outworld I had, which was just filled with, you know, a nice soil mix for the time being. They were super happy in that, and you could tell by the way they were moving, digging, and I should have really just waited another week, 2, 3, about maybe even 3 weeks, just while they were settling in from the move, then to here, then building in the nest, and then me going in and getting them out of there and putting them in here. But there's a lot of things that I should have done better, and it's always great, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But I will be adding another Harpegnathos Venator colony inside here. I do know it's the right setup for them. I just need to obviously order another one. Expensive mistake to make, and I'm just really frustrated with myself. I hope you do like the build. If you do, remember, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel so you can see updates, and also you will see another colony of these going in here. But as always from me guys, peace and love, I'm out.